The Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who often wore a red scarf, so everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother told her to take a cake to her grandmother. Before she left, her mother warned her.
Be sure to take the straight path, and don't go through the forest, or the wolf will eat you.
On the way, she saw the winding path through the forest was full of flowers and butterflies, so she ignored her mother's warning and skipped along that path. She picked flowers and caught butterflies as she walked. When she reached the edge of the forest, she met a wolf. The wolf was very big and came up to her. It spoke in a gruff voice.
"Where are you going, little girl?"
Hearing the wolf's question, Little Red Riding Hood was very scared, but she mustered up the courage to answer. "I'm going to my grandmother's house." Hearing Little Red Riding Hood say she was going to her grandmother's house, the wolf thought to itself, "Oh, so she has a grandmother too. I'll have to eat both of them." Thinking of this, the wolf asked again.
"Where does your grandmother live?"
"It's on the other side of the forest. The house has a chimney. You just push the door open and you'll be right in." After hearing this, the wolf left Little Red Riding Hood standing there and ran straight to Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother's house. It pushed the door open and pounced on the old woman, swallowing her whole. Then, it got into bed and pulled the covers up, pretending to be the sick grandmother. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the house, she knocked on the door. The wolf called out in a high-pitched voice.
"Come in, my dear. The door is unlocked."
Little Red Riding Hood opened the door and went inside. She saw her grandmother lying in bed, looking very strange. She said, "Grandma, what big ears you have." The wolf replied in a muffled voice,
"The better to hear you with, my dear."
Little Red Riding Hood said, "Grandma, what big eyes you have." The wolf replied,
"The better to see you with, my dear."
Little Red Riding Hood said, "Grandma, what big hands you have." The wolf replied,
"The better to hug you with, my dear."
Little Red Riding Hood said, "Grandma, what big teeth you have." The wolf replied,
"The better to eat you with."
With that, the wolf jumped out of bed and lunged at Little Red Riding Hood. But just then, a hunter came running into the house. He had seen the wolf go into the house and had followed him. The hunter shot the wolf dead. The hunter cut open the wolf's stomach and rescued Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother. They were both very happy to be alive. Moral of the story: 1. It is important to obey your parents' instructions. 2. It is important to be careful when you are alone. 3. Good will always triumph over evil.